Academy of Art University's K-Art News is next. Coming up, what you need to know the next time you have complaints about BART.
The Bay Area lake that's responsible for the deaths of 3 dogs.
And you'll meet the Urban Knights basketball star who's also a talented artist.
Plus up close and personal with the Giants World Series trophies on tour. All that and more on next on K-Art News.
Good evening. Welcome to the Academy of Art University's K-Art News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Quinlan Wright.
And I'm VNA Austin. Here's what we're working on. Gas prices soar in California. Gas stations around the San Francisco Bay Area boosted prices 20 cents a gallon to $3.19. Average retail gas prices in the state have gone up 25 cents a gallon. California regulates a specialized blend of fuel that isn't used anywhere else in the U.S. Because of that, California is economically isolated and cannot easily purchase fuel from outside the state.
San Francisco will have more transportation available during late night hours. Over 50,000 people work late night shifts, and that doesn't include the people who dine at restaurants or bars. There are reports calling for the extension of late night bus services, including Muni, ACT Transit, Golden Gate, and Sam's Trans. BART is also looking for a way to make 24-hour service possible. Supporters of this move say the city never sleeps at night, and neither should public transportation. There have been a lot of complaints about one mode of public transportation. BART's increase in ridership capacity has many people wondering what the next step will be. K-Arts News' Josh Lopez has the story.
For many people in the Bay Area, BART is an everyday struggle for them to find a park at a station and even a seat on a train. Riders are pushing for larger trains for more seats to accommodate everyone's needs.
It seems like, especially during peak times, well, really it seems like everybody's crowding on, so larger trains might be better. Because it doesn't matter if the next train's in 2 minutes, everyone's going to get on the first one that comes on.
So the new train cars that are arriving starting in December of 2016 have great passenger amenities. The seats are all easy to clean, wipeable material. There's lumbar support, which we've never had before on our seats. The floors, there's no more carpet. The day of carpet is over at BART. That's going to be all wipeable material. There's going to be electronic displays that show you where you are in the system. It'll actually be a map with a bubble that moves, so it's really obvious where you are, what stop is next. Parking is a tough one because it's in very high demand. You basically have to get to a parking lot before 8 a.m. to get a spot.
At as early as 8 a.m., station parking lots are already filled up. So BART is advising people to take alternate ways of transportation, such as biking, carpooling, and bus.
There's only so much parking we can build for a variety of reasons. Sometimes that's the amount of land we own and the city won't let us build a structure any higher.
BART spokeswoman Alicia Trost says it would cost anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 per parking space, and that the increase in parking fee is the only way to stay within the budget. So BART is communicating with other transit agencies to figure out how to get more people to the BART stations, while 4-hour street parking isn't beneficial for those who work 8 to 9 hour shifts. In El Cerrito, I'm Joshua Lopez, reporting for Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
To find out more information about BART's future plans, see bart.gov.
Finally, the Sierra got some snow. Swab Valley spokeswoman Melissa Matheny says SWA recorded 27 inches of the snow over the weekend. While snow is good, many believe that the recent snow will have little effect on the dismal ski season. After a wet December and the driest January on record, mountain resorts are struggling to stay in business. Irregular weather patterns are hitting all parts of the country in different ways. Although recent snow hit the Sierras, our country is still divided by a bipolar weather trend affecting both the East and West Coast. Our Connor Smith looks into the tale of two nations.
California is in the midst of a serious drought. I talked to an eco-friendly homeowner who believes each of us can make slight adjustments to conserve.
Well, I think, you have to look at, in my particular case as a homeowner, is the landscaping, and can you cut the water back? Absolutely you could.
According to a recent study, the average individual uses roughly 70 gallons of water per day. As city folk, we don't often get a chance to see how the drought affects the rest of California, so I spoke with the City of Marina's recreation director about the effect the drought has had on his city.
The county area, the drought's been a drastic effect on the county area because the Lake San Antonio and Nacimiento, which is the cash cow for the county, is dry. And then the other effects are on agriculture across the county, water, access, and so that also affects how things are going here, so it's not been good.
With the weather in the United States looking about as bipolar as my wardrobe, the West continues to get the summer sun while the East Coast is pounded by superstorm after superstorm. California has started the year off hot. Records indicate the warmest and driest winter the state's seen in years. Meanwhile, the East Coast continues to get pounded by storms. I spoke with a weather enthusiast who explains our nation's bipolar weather trends.
I would say it's a pattern. I think what's abnormal about it is that you've got more warm, moist air being pushed up into the Arctic, which is therefore displacing more cold air, and via the jet stream it's being pushed into the eastern part of the United States.
From the sunny beaches of Monterey, California, I'm Connor Smith in my Speedo with the Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
California's drought has become so severe, the federal government has no choice but to step in.
California farmers are feeling the pressure once again as the federal government says it won't allow any of its water reserves to Central California. This is the second straight year the government has denied this agricultural community. Many farmers say they were not surprised by the decision as California heads into its fourth year of the drought. The drought's impact is to blame for the death of 3 dogs at Bay Area Lake. K-Art News' Terrell Butler has more on the story.
It's a beautiful scene here at Lake Chabot in San Leandro. Normally, there would be more people here taking advantage of this beautiful day. But sadly, the lake is currently the home for a high toxic substance that has taken the lives of at least 3 household dogs already. The news has put owners on high alert until the threat of this epidemic is over.
You know, it's terrible, but we still love Lake Chabot, so better safe than sorry, and we just keep them on the track more than anything else.
The substance contaminating the lake is this here, blue-green algae. Now, because of the drought, the rain has not been able to wash away this substance. Blue-green algae grows here all the time, but normally with a heavy rainfall, the water would dilute the system. But because California is in a drought, the blue-green algae has been able to multiply to unheard of numbers. And because of that, it's a very toxic situation here at Lake Chabot. And park rangers are advising everyone to keep their dogs on a tight leash and do not let them ingest the water whatsoever.
The dogs presented in a fairly compromised state. They generally will present in some degree of shock. It typically causes what we tend to be seeing are acute liver failure symptoms. They often will have clotting abnormalities associated with that as well.
The situation at Lake Chabot has not only affected dog owners, but local fishermen as well.
I used to fish here. I loved this area before, but because of the algae like this, the fishing is terrible.
In San Leandro, I'm Terrell Butler for Academy of Art University, K-Art News.
No reports as of yet if the drought has affected any other California lakes in the same way.
The federal aid comes with no relief to the San Francisco Bay that has reached record pollution levels. K-Art News' Cody Young has more on the story.
Walking along the shores of the San Francisco Bay, it's not hard to spot a nasty problem. Trash litters the shores with things like cigarette butts, plastic bits, and plastic bags. It's the same story as well out on the water. Daniel Roberts is a local sailor here in the bay.
I come across the water maybe about 6 times a week, 5 times a week or so. A casual sail, every single time you will see just like weeds and sticks, soda bottles, bags of chips. Those are like the normal things that you'll see. And it's kind of disturbing to say that's a normal thing to see on a day-to-day basis when you're in the water.
The biggest problem is trash coming out of storm drains like this one out into the ocean.
Trash is blown into streets, where they enter the storm drains and make their way into the bay.
So that's the other scary thing. It's not like they take all the sewer lines don't go to like a big compound. They go straight into the water.
Jack Boger is a local paddleboarder.
The worst thing, the thing we see most of is plastic bags. There's plastic bags floating around. So sometimes I try to grab them up and stick in my strap and bring them in, but sometimes it just seems overwhelming.
I would say it's making its way from the land to the water. It's the same people that throw stuff in the street, that throw stuff into the water. And most of those things, they're really lightweight, bags that fly through the wind. So the person who dropped the Safeway bag, in like next to a trash can, that thing just blew straight to the water, and now it's in the water. And they don't think it's a problem because it's not on land and they're not in the water. But I am.
Reporting from Oakland, I'm Cody Young with Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
A study recently found that there are 100 plastic bags in the water for every seal, duck, and pelican.
For a look now at what's happening here at the Academy of Art University, let's join Joshua Lopez for the latest.
There's been a lot of new stuff going on, so let's get right to it. Math and technology coming together. Game programming becomes the Academy of Art University's first Bachelor's in Science degree, as it represents an expansion of courses, such as 3D modeling, drawing and painting, texturing, and gaming levels. This is a very unique major, unlike game design, as you will be learning skills and build towards function gaming, which is awesome. One of the ArtU's instructor actually recently had a Grammy nominee. Christopher Eichman recently directed the film In Love and Longing, which is about true art and music, getting in depth with love and intimate communion with things. He is currently teaching music and production and sound design for visual media. Attention ArtU sports fans. For some other fun and exciting news, this season you can sign up and take the Fan Bus to ball games. Yes, you heard that right, Fan Bus Central. All students need is their student ID and you can ride for free, some of which are baseball and softball, tennis and golf, and track and field. So sign up at the ArtU Athletics website to find out more and sign up to support your Urban Knights. Be artist, be athlete. If you think you have what it takes to be one of the school's most talented singers, then you might want to sign up for Academy Idol, which is season 5. Last season, we got to watch Luis Barrera take over the stage, not only with his voice, but also with his guitar. You will compete amongst other fellow ArtU students, and that's it for this edition of K-Art News, Entertainment News. Join us next week for more. Back to you, Quinlan.
Thanks, Joss. Now over to Connor Smith, who's got his own opinion on the student-athlete struggle.
The struggle is real. Student athletes deserve some more respect. They're given a bad rap around campus for being lazy, always falling asleep in class, never on time. Well, to all the haters out there, take pause. Put yourselves in their shoes for just 1 second and let me know if you'd survive. It's the daily grind. You wake up, practice, after that weights. Top it all off with another 3-hour class. It's a project-heavy workload at the Academy, #time consuming, but I can only imagine the immense pressure athletes feel to complete assignments on time. It's time to start treating our student athletes with a little more respect. But hey, that's like my opinion, man.
Thanks, Connor. So to get a look at what our Urban Knight athletes have been up to, let's join Inosh Williams for the latest on sports.
Thanks. Not a good start for the Urban Knights baseball team. They lost their first conference home game, even with 3 home runs in 1 game. The Half West Conference just started with roughly 20 to 30 games to go. Pitching has been phenomenal this season, only losing a few games by a single run. Track and field is steady mid-season, placing at 15 out of all D12 schools. Jordan Edwards is going to the Nationals, as well as Martin Britton. The men's basketball game gave it their best in Hawaii. Despite their loss to the Silver Words, this was the team's last game until next season, where they plan to work even harder to bring home the championship. The women's basketball team continues to soar. After their swift victory in Hawaii, CUH Jasmine Gwynn was certainly the game's star as she scored a staggering 20 points, which now makes her the team's point leader. The team starts the week off strong, training heavily as they move into the place where they will then go to the Pacific West Conference Tournament. Our very own VNA Austin traveled to Hawaii as part of the women's basketball team to ensure their latest victory. Let's take a look at the team's magnificent journey to paradise.
Academy of Art women's basketball has been having an exciting season so far. The conference came to a close this year, finishing the season with an annual trip to Hawaii. Head coach Lene Larson pushed her team to win these 3 games, but came up a little short with 1 loss to BYU Hawaii. Being the most important trip of the year, the team stayed focused but had a few setbacks due to injuries. One injury included starting junior guard Shani Story when she possibly tore her meniscus right before the big trip.
It was just really bad timing. These are really big games that we need to win, and I feel like getting hurt at this time was kind of like a setback. Mentally more, just because I feel like it's hard to try to play through injuries, but I think I've gotten a little bit better at it for the last 2 games, and I think going into the Pac West, I think I'll be pretty good.
With Shani's back in rotation, the Knights will be able to hold the position in these next few games and come out victorious.
Our trip to Hawaii was extremely important. We needed 1 more game to clinch a berth in the Pac West tournament, which we did. We went 2-1. That was our first time losing in Hawaii in 4 years, but we did clinch a tournament berth, which is great. And now it's time to prepare for the Pac West tournament. We leave on Wednesday. It's going to be kind of tough. We're the 5th seed. We have to win 3 games in a row, essentially, to go to the NCAA tournament. We've won the Pac West tournament 2 years in a row. We're hoping for a 3-peat, and so we're preparing a few days of practice, and we play on Thursday. We play Azusa Pacific, tough team. We've already beat them a couple times, and they're our first opponent. So we're just preparing for that, going over the personnel, what they do as a team, and strategizing to win that game.
The Lady Knights returned back home to San Francisco yesterday and have already begun preparing for the Pac West tournament this week in Irvine, California. In San Francisco, I'm VNA Austin, Academy of Art University's K-Art News. Thanks for that, Anash. Now Matthew Cheska joins us with one of our student athletes from AAU. You may know him as a talented athlete, but his talents run deeper than that. Matt?
All right, well, thank you. And Trent, how you doing today?
Doing great.
All right, so we're here to talk about your doodle with us, and what do you have to say about that?
It's an idea that I came up with probably 3 years ago before I even got to the school. I worked for a printing company, and I would take the scrap printing goods and use them as canvas, but I would allow people to draw with me and eventually just allow people to draw because it seemed like it was a great catalyst for being social.
So you just invite a bunch of people out and just ask them to come draw with you?
Not even. I just show up to a park or in a mall, and I just lay it down and let them put the materials down, and usually a kid will walk up to me and ask to draw, and before I know it, I have couples and older people and teenagers all just sitting down drawing and expressing their thoughts.
Okay, now how do you get together the materials for it? Because I assume it takes a lot of materials to put all that together. I saw your canvas back there was pretty big. So
it definitely does. Like the first time I did it, I was carrying around like 100 pounds worth of vinyl canvas on my shoulder by myself, and I had a young woman donate about $100 worth of supplies to me, or something around there, just markers, Sharpies, and things. And from that, I started to buy my own supplies because I didn't always get the amount of donation that I needed to supply people the materials. So sometimes I would have to come out of pocket.
Do you ever ask for donations while you're there?
I have, because some of the kids will just ruin, I don't know, a whole pack of markers, and I just have to ask, like, can you guys help us out? But sometimes people just voluntarily give me 5s, 20s, even markers and crayons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty nice. What really makes you, like, why do you do that? Like, it's a very, like, young child event, or, I mean, all ages go, but what, like, makes you want to do it?
To see people being quiet and just focusing on expressing themselves, it makes me feel good, and to know that when I'm drawing that another person might get inspired, and to know that this may be something that causes a kid to become an artist in the future.
Okay, what is next for Doodle With Us?
Well, I've been working on like a curriculum for it, not necessarily a curriculum, but maybe a more structured program so that I can implement it in after-school programs and just bring it into the classroom possibly, or to other private organizations. And that's been in the process probably this whole year. I mean, I'd hope to have it completed by next year.
Wow, that sounds pretty nice. But we're running just about out of time right now, so I advise you, if you're in the SF area, go to Union Square Saturday or Sunday. Hopefully you'll find Trent there. You can doodle with him. But thank you for being with us, Trent, and thank you for sharing.
No problem. Thank you, Matt.
Big thanks to Matt and Trent. Up next, we have a unique story following the San Francisco Giants' 3 World Series trophies on an official trophy tour. Connor Smith has more on the story.
It's quite the rock star lifestyle. You can call us the Triplets. We sleep in specially labeled crates wrapped in Tiffany blue bags. People line up to see us city after city, night after night. I'm 2010, the one on the left. I was San Francisco's first World Series trophy. Misfits like Lincecum and the Beard won me over in Texas.
2010, I didn't think it was possible for us in our lifetime to ever see one. 20 of us in my family all went. It's something you're never going to experience again.
I'm 2012, the one on the right. It's amazing to see how many fans come out to support us.
Just know you're not alone. As the one he likes. Romo, pitch all the way. Cabrera takes strike 3 called, and the Giants have won the World Series in Detroit.
The tour's been a blast thus far. We've been everywhere from Reno to Medford together. Even took a trip through the Avenue of Giants. At times it's tough being the middle child, but it's always nice to hear you hold a special place in some fan's heart.
That World Series, I remember the Giants defeating the Tigers on my birthday, October 28th, 2012. One of the best birthdays I've ever had.
That's right.
Woo!
They call me the newborn. It took 7 games, but Bumgarner and the Giants won me over in Kansas City. This is my first tour, but everyone seems to love me. They even let me sit in the middle.
Behind me are the fans that are looking to see the 3 World Series trophies. We call them the Triplets.
The Triplets are currently on tour, 40 stops over 3 months. 10, 12, and 14 will be coming to a city near you, so you can take that special family photo. From San Francisco, I'm Connor Smith with the Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
The Triplets actually had a special stop at the Academy last week.
News on Kanye West, Drake, a hot box office hit, and a new Netflix series all you Marvel fans would love. Here's Kizzle with the update on today's entertainment.
Thanks, Quinlan. There's a lot of buzz going on in the music world, and who better than Mr. West to be in the middle of it all? Kanye West has been going on an apology rant on artists like Beck and Bruno Mars. After claiming he hated Bruno, Yeezy wanted to say sorry by tweeting that he really respects what he does as an artist. After apologizing, Kanye took to Twitter to announce the name of his upcoming album, tweeting, "New album title." Shortly after, he uploaded the cover art caption, "So help me God." Team Yeezy went crazy all over social media. The date of this highly anticipated release has not been revealed, but if you ask me, I'd say it's going to be a surprise. Drake ties the Beatles' record of having 14 hits on Billboard's Hot 100 all at the same time. After releasing his surprise album, If You're Reading This It's Too Late, the OVO artist became the first person in 51 years to reach this achievement. Drizzy has sold over 6 million albums worldwide, and it looks like he doesn't plan on stopping there. The crime comedy film Focus tops the box office, grossing $19.1 million over the weekend. This film features Will Smith and his partner in crime, Margaret Robbie. The main character, Nicky, takes an amateur con artist under his wing who goes by the name of Jess. When the two fall in love, Nicky later on realizes that he can't mix business with pleasure. The story proceeds as the two meet up 3 years later and find themselves in a sticky situation. Will Nick and Jess be able to get themselves out of this mess? You can catch the thrilling film at your local theater.
I can convince anyone of anything. You see, there's a science to getting people to trust you.
I want in.
With your current skill set, you don't.
Maybe you could teach me in your room.
That is so bad.
Is it?
Does it feel sexy on your face?
A little.
It does. Okay, let's go.
For all you Netflix fans that love to just kick back on a Sunday and watch every series you could possibly find, Netflix is debuting their original series based off of Marvel's Daredevil. Check it out.
I'm just trying to make my city a better place.
I know we all love a good superhero. I know I could use one. But that's all the entertainment for today. Thanks for kicking it with me. I'll catch you lovely people next time.
From sea to land, tourists have several options when sightseeing in San Francisco. If you're looking to save money while getting around, I found an inexpensive way to do just that.
Visiting a new city such as San Francisco or even living here can be intimidating and expensive, especially when it comes to transportation. Presidio Go shuttles offer free transportation to and from downtown San Francisco, along with several other San Francisco attractions.
How's your experience with them? It's pretty awesome.
They'll pick you up and drop you off every 30 minutes at the main post in the historical Presidio Park. From there, you can choose from 2 different routes. The Crissy Field route, which serves the northern Presidio, where you'll find the Golden Gate Bridge. And then there's the Presidio Hills route, where you'll find Baker Beach. They have a number of different stops on each route, one including the beautiful Palace of Fine Arts. While some use it to visit tourist attractions, others use it as everyday transportation.
Well, we use it for transport to get, he takes it downtown to work every day. I take it if I have been out walking too much and want to ride back up the hill. So I'll catch it sometimes at Crissy Field or usually here at the main post. As you can see, the sun's going down and it's starting to get dark outside. I just arrived back to the main post in the Presidio from a day full of shuttle rides with Presidio Go. They pick you up and drop you off at the main post. I have to say, overall, my experience was great. If you would like more information, you can check it out on www.presidio.gov. In San Francisco, I'm Whitley Sandretto for Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
A great and cheap way to do some sightseeing.
That's it for this edition of Academy of Art University's K-Art News. Thanks for joining us for everyone here on VNA Austin.
And I'm Quinlan Wright. Have a great evening and enjoy your weekend. See you back here next week.